Hello guys, it's D2 this here. I wasn't gonna do any more wrestling related videos, but since it's moved to Fox, I don't need cable. I can watch SmackDown for free, guys. So the draft is going on so freaking hilarious to me. The first round just finished, and the first draft pick of the 2019 draft was Becky Lynch. She went to Raw. Wait a minute, wasn't she on Raw already? Hence, she's the Raw Women's Champion. I know you're resetting the roster back to default settings, but at least mention that. And the only reason they picked the man, which is actually a woman, to be the first draft in the 2019 draft is for political bullshit. We all know that. They need to look politically correct, so let's have a woman be the first draft pick of this year. But it's hilarious. The Raw Women's Champion drafted to Raw. That just sounds stupid, and it's like, duh, obviously. And Roman Reigns dropped it from SmackDown back to SmackDown. Even more hilarious. Basically, they're just letting you know, hey, he's still on SmackDown. Wow. Yeah, that's so exciting to know, right? That he still be on SmackDown. What a surprise. And still on Raw. Dropped it from Raw to Raw. The OC, the Orange County, I don't know what OC stands for. Overrated Club, the Overrated Club, that's what it is. Overrated Club. Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, AJ Styles, still on Raw. This is so silly. What's the point of the draft? To let you know that the talent are still in the same roster. They have not changed. That is the point of the draft. To let you know, hey, these guys are still on Raw. These guys are still on SmackDown. The only difference right now, finally something logical, finally something that makes sense. They're letting you know that Bray Wyatt was drafted to SmackDown. There's a change because he was on Raw, so now he's going to SmackDown. Great, I get to see the Fiend on SmackDown. Because I can only watch SmackDown, I don't have cable, I'm not gonna pay to watch Raw. It's horrible. SmackDown, get it for free. It's on Fox. You don't need cable here to watch it anyways. So that's why I'm siding, hoping all my favorites go to SmackDown, because that's the only show I can see. Because nobody has cable in 2019. It's all about Netflix and other stuff that's for better. Who wants commercials? And Drew McIntyre still on Raw. They're just letting you know he's not moving to SmackDown. That's what this whole draft is. Just letting you know this guy's still on Raw. These guys are still on SmackDown. Oh, by the way, these guys are changing. Why don't you just tell us the changes? Like the superstar shakeup the past 3 or whatever amount of years, where you just tell us who was changing. You don't need to tell us who's still on the same brand. Stupid. And okay, Randy Orton's moving from SmackDown to Raw. That's good. Probably get more TV time that he deserves. This ain't come out too much on SmackDown because it's an hour less than the 3-hour Raw show, so I guess that's good for him, but I won't be able to watch Randy Orton on SmackDown anymore. Sasha Banks to SmackDown. I don't care. But at least that's a difference change. She's from Raw to SmackDown now. So at least there's a point to that draft announcement. Ricochet to Raw. He's still on Raw. Who cares? He was already on Raw. And who cares about Ricochet anyways? Then Braun Strowman from Raw to SmackDown. Okay, that's a change. There's a point to announcing that. Bobby Lashley from Raw and still on Raw. Bobby Lashley. The funny part is that they drafted Ricochet before Bobby Lashley. Does that make sense? I'm pretty sure that the USA Network has no effing idea who Ricochet is, especially in comparisons to Bobby Lashley. This draft is bullshit. We ain't got the TV networks drafting. We don't really have Fox drafting for SmackDown and USA Network drafting for Raw lists. These TV networks are buffoons. They probably have no idea who about 85% of the roster is. Oh, it's hilarious. And still on Raw, Alexa Bliss. The announcers try to play it off as if she was on SmackDown before. No, boom. I remember she was on Raw the last time. The roster. She's still on Raw. Stupid. But at least this draft had a point, I guess, because they drafted Alexa Bliss by herself without Nikki Cross. So that's separating a tag team, perhaps. Obviously, if they chose Alexa Bliss for Raw, then Nikki Cross might be going to SmackDown, right? I don't think that would. Why would Raw draft her later on? Why would Raw draft Nikki Cross later on in the, when they could have drafted them both together at once? It's highly unlikely they'll draft Nikki Cross separately later on. Probably going to SmackDown, or she might go undrafted and remain a free agent. Who knows? Lacey Evans from Raw to SmackDown. At least there's a point to that. That's a change of roster. My God, Kevin Owens is going to Raw. I don't know, every draft Kevin Owens moves around, I believe so, if I remember correctly. Every year he changes from Raw to SmackDown, Raw to SmackDown. At this point, who effing cares, really? When he moved to SmackDown, the previous draft, he hasn't really done much since. Who really cares? He'll probably be booked just as horribly on Raw. Who really cares? He ain't no Stone Cold. Stop trying to make him one. And then we got, this is the funny part, we got the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Revival. They're finally on SmackDown now because, yes, you had your SmackDown Tag Team Champions that were from Raw, so they had to fix that error, right? So now it can make sense after this week. And now we have officially your SmackDown Tag Team Champions. They're no longer on Raw now. They're officially on SmackDown. It's just so effing hilarious to me how a Raw team was allowed to challenge and win the SmackDown Tag titles, making the Raw Tag Team titles seem unimportant. And still on Raw, Natalya, who gives a damn. And still on Raw, the Viking Raiders, Igor, whatever, Eric. Igor and Eric. It's weird, that's like a unique name, very creative or whatever, and then Eric. Well, his name is Ibar or something like that, but I keep forgetting, so we just call him Igor. Sounds better, probably is. Or it's partnership in Igor instead of Eric. This last round is just so, who cares? Picks, you know? Oh my goodness. Going to SmackDown from Raw, at least it's a change. Makes sense to announce it. The Lucha House Party. Weren't they 4 members of the Lucha House Party? Weren't they 4 luchadors? Now there's only 3. What happened to the 4th one? Was he fired? Is he injured? I don't even know, nor do I care. I'm just wondering. And even more hilarious still on Raw, from Raw to Raw, Nikki Cross, who effing cares. And this is the hilarious part, guys. USA Network supposedly has an influence on these draft picks versus SmackDown's Fox having an influence on those draft picks. This is the most hilarious thing of the draft. They could have drafted Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross together as a team and only go with, and that would only have them spend 1 draft. Instead, why don't we draft them apart so we can waste 2? What a waste. Idiots. Or they probably thought, nah, we probably won't get Nikki Cross. Or maybe they were too stupid to realize they could draft them together. Or they wanted to fool us to make us think they were gonna be separated and drafted apart. Ugh. Just dumb. You wanted to keep things interesting? Okay. Have her go undrafted only to sign to Raw anyways when she's a free agent. That would have been more interesting because at least it will build up for a week or 2 wondering if they're going to be apart. And still on SmackDown, Heavy Machinery. Okay? Nah, I don't care. I like one of them. Otis, I think, the one that does the worm. At least these tag teams are entertaining, right? Should be champions, in my opinion, at some point in the near future. Who cares about them right now, you know? Years ago, or these drafts of luster talent that nobody effing cares about, they would have been announced after we went off the air, not on the actual TV show, because these are talents nobody cares about. You go to the Son of Metal draft. Jeez, man, especially for talent that are telling me they're still on the same damn brand. And then the Street Profits go from free agents or whatever they were, and still on Raw, basically, because for those of you, oh no, they were on NXT, now they're on Raw. They were already on Raw. They were cutting promos backstage all the time. Doesn't really matter. They hadn't wrestled yet. They were already on Raw. They're still on Raw, and that's how you end the draft, letting you know the Heavy Machinery is still on SmackDown, and Street Profits are now officially, I guess, on Raw. Stupid. Dumb. This whole draft was a big LOL failure. It was dumb. It was pointless. It was snooze fest. And I'm going to take a shower and go to work. Good night, y'all. Post this tomorrow.